really be deleted. So anyways, well, welcome. I'm glad you're all here. Of course, as my background as an occupational therapist, I have goals and objectives that I wrote out just so you know what is the basic idea of this class. All right, that first of all, we're going to understand how to properly engage the core. So today, we're not going to have like a full workout. Don't expect that you're going to leave here and be like achy sore. You have a few chairs there. All right, but just understanding how do we engage those pelvic floor muscles. It was quite surprising to me, even as an OT, that I didn't know how to engage my core muscles. I thought I did, but it wasn't until I started doing the Pilates training and really learned what are the pelvic floor muscles and how to engage those. And then I realized the benefit of that. That if you don't properly engage those core muscles, you overuse your arms, your legs, your neck. So the second component to our classes in this next 4-week series is we learn how to engage the core, but then we're also going to identify where we've been compensating. Because without awareness, we can't correct anything. All right, so then we identify, wow, I've really been using my legs too much. Or you'll notice when we do a few very light exercises where we engage the core, you may strain your neck and get a lot of neck pain. Well, that's where you've been compensating. So we identify where you've been compensating so that we can allow our body, to let go of that and focus more on engaging this core region. All right, then the next part of that is incorporating our breath into it. Because we'll look at our breathing pattern. How do we breathe? How can we engage these core muscles in our breathing? Because then, using our core muscles becomes an everyday activity, not just when I'm exercising. All right, which leads us into our next objective, is that we start utilizing our core in our everyday activity. That, anytime we go to lift something up, we engage that core. Anytime that our body is in motion, whether we're riding a bike, we're walking a dog that's pulling us along, or we're riding a horse, okay, that we know how to engage that core. So our core is that center of stability, not gaining it from our arms, our legs, and our neck. All right, so we'll cover all the basic things in sitting, laying down, and standing up. We'll also do some sideline. We may do some things on the stomach if you're comfortable with it. If not, we won't do that. We can always modify. All right, and then your last class on the 4th day will be a workout routine where you're going to be challenged to take everything that you're learning in these next 3 sessions and put them into a workout routine. All right, so I see a little bit of fear in that. It's okay. I want you to know that it's going to be a gradual progression. And even in that workout, it's not going to be make you sweat, make you cry, make you, suffer. All right. The point is that we want to make sure that you learn how to engage that core and then you learn how to apply it while you're actually doing something. Please feel free to ask questions at any point. If something doesn't feel right, I want to know about it. And we'll help give you some guidance and correction in there. Okay? So first and foremost, I want you to think about how has your core strength, okay, or maybe the lack of core strength, how has that impacted your present life? Do you have pain? Is your balance off? Do you find that you have shoulder aches and knee aches and hip aches and all of that? How is it affecting your life? So become aware of, where that lack of core is affecting you. And that's going to be your parameter that, note over the next month as you learn how to engage this core. Keep track of that. So choose one area that a weaker core has impacted you. Just keep that in your mind. Maybe later on today, go home, write it down so you don't forget it. So you tack that up on your fridge and that's what reminds you, get my core on. Okay? So now for today's class, we are going to start on our back. Okay, so we're going to learn about how to zip it up. Okay, and we're not talking like when your mom told you, shh, quiet, zip it up. Okay, we're going to talk about the core, how to zip it up. So what I want y'all to do is go ahead and lay down on your back. And with this, you can either have your blanket underneath your bottom. Okay, so you can sit on your blanket and lay down. All right, or you can put the blanket, if you're more comfortable and you can put the blanket underneath your head. Or if you don't want the blanket at all, don't use it. Okay? Oh, goodness. tall we are. All right.
We lay down.
All right, so what I want you to do here, laying down, I want you to take your hands and I want you to put them palm down underneath your bottom. Okay, so as you notice, when you put your hands palm down underneath your bottom, that automatically sort of rocks your pelvis back towards the floor and imprints your back on the floor. So now what I want you to do, I want you to imagine that you have a zipper, as most of us do in our pants, from our pubic bone to our belly button. And I want you to zip it up and feel that pelvis rock further back towards the floor, imprinting your back on the floor. And then let it go. And you should feel a rocking motion in your pelvis. All right? Where your back imprints on the floor even more. Okay, so just do that a couple times. Feel that rhythm. Rock that pelvis back, and then let it come to neutral. Rock the pelvis back, and bring it to neutral. I'm going to sit up and watch each of you do that just to help give you guidance. Once again, rock the pelvis back. Now, as you do this, you should feel that your stomach flattens. If you're feeling that your stomach is poofing out more, you're using more of those upper abdominal muscles called your rectus abdominis. So you should really feel that your belly flattens as you rock your pelvis towards the floor. Okay, and that's called zipping it up, rocking the pelvis towards the floor. Now go ahead and take your hands out from underneath your bottom. Okay. Now without your hands, this may be a little tricky. If you need, you can put them back. But once again, go ahead and zip it up and rock that pelvis towards the floor. And I want you to hold it here. Okay, hold it here. Now, take note if you have any tension in your thighs. You should not have any tension in your thighs. It should not be your feet that's pushing you back, but it should be those pelvic floor muscles that are rocking that pelvis back. So now go ahead and let go of that again. Okay, shake your thighs out a little bit here. Okay, feel how nice and loose they can get. Okay, take a breath. Exhale. That's good. That's using your diaphragm to breathe when you feel that belly rise up. Once again, breathe in. And then exhale. Breathe in. On this next exhale, zip it up. Exhale, zip it up. Good. Rock that pelvis back. Once again, take note. Are those legs soft? Wiggle your legs. Good. Wiggle your legs a little bit, making sure that your legs are soft. Good. Now inhale and let your abdominal muscles soften. Good. Breathe in once again. And then exhale. Breathe in. Now on the exhale, zip it up again. Okay, good. Feel that zip up. Once again, do the leg check. Okay, also check your shoulders now. Make sure those shoulders and the neck aren't holding that tension. If you feel it, shake out the shoulders and the neck. Okay, and then inhale, letting your core relax. Okay, this is, once again, becoming aware of where we may be recruiting from. Okay, take another breath in. And then exhale. Breathe in. And now as you exhale, once again, rock that pelvis back, zip it up, and do your leg check. Do your shoulder and head check to make sure that it's just that core that's holding the tension, nothing else. Good. And then breathe in and let it soften. I should mention, if anybody needs an extra pillow or blanket or whatnot underneath their head or their bottom, just raise your hand, let me know, and I'll be happy to get up and get it for you. Okay. All right, so we've got 1/4 of... actually 1/4 of the core activation part here. All right, so we're going to breathe in again using that nice big deep diaphragmatic breath. Okay, as we exhale, we're going to zip it up, rocking that pelvis back, making sure we're not using our thighs, our shoulders, or our neck to recruit from there. Now I want you to think about a scared dog and tuck that tail underneath you. Okay, so tuck your tailbone under. Good, which you should feel that pelvis rock back even more. And then breathe in and let everything soften. And that is just a little activation. It's not a huge movement, okay? This dog is just a little bit scared, not a lot, okay? All right, once again, breathe in. Then exhale, zip it up, and gently tuck the tail. Now, if you find that as you tuck the tail, you are really clenching your bottom muscles, tuck your tail a little bit less. Okay, good. Now breathe in and let everything soften. We'll take a few nice deep breaths in and out. Now, notice that as we're doing this, we are breathing in first, and then as we activate the core, we're exhaling. Think of your breath as if you went to dive into a pool of water. You wouldn't breathe after you got into the water. You'd breathe before you got into the water. So before you do any activity that requires exertion, take that breath in. Give your body that energy. And then as you're doing the activity, that's where you should be exhaling and contracting, using that exhale to engage the core. All right, you can, as you advance, you can advance and you can do this in the opposite manner, but for right now, I want you to always breathe in first and then utilize your core. Activate that core afterwards, okay? Everybody doing all right? Any questions? No? Feel like we're getting it? You're all allowed to talk, even though we're on tape. I'll at least get your voice if I don't get your faces. All right, so once again now, let's go ahead and take a nice breath in. All right, exhale, and on that exhale, don't tense the whole body. Just zip it up and lightly tuck the tail. Okay, good. Breathe in and let everything soften. Exhale, zip it up and tuck the tail. All right, now I want you to hold that there, continuing to breathe, which is a little bit of a challenge because you're thinking, wait, I've got my core activated. How am I supposed to be able to breathe when I have my core activated? Know that your diaphragm should still be able to move up and down. Okay, that belly should still be able to expand even though your core is engaged. What I want you to do now is imagine that you're going to bring the base of your rib cage to your belly button. This is going to engage those upper abdominal muscles. All right, so pull those ribs down to your belly button. Breathe in and let everything soften. Once again, zip it up as you exhale. Pull those ribs down. All right, you should feel your belly flattening. And now inhale and let everything soften. Okay, and just take a few deep breaths in and out. Now I said I wasn't going to, give you guys this sweating and overexerting workout, but that's not to say you won't go home and feel your core muscles, okay? Because we're using muscles that may not have been used in a while, and so you may feel them. So that's why we're going to make sure we pace ourselves and take some nice deep breaths in and out, and we don't do a full 30 minutes of core activation, and then you all go home and feel nauseous and like you got the flu because your stomach's cramping up. All right. I want you just to focus now on pulling those ribs down to the belly button. All right, so on the exhale, pull the ribs down towards the belly button. Inhale and let them soften. Now, just like when we zip up our lower abdominal muscles, we don't want our thighs engaged. It is very easy for folks to curl their shoulders in, when they pull their ribs down to their belly button. All right, which means your shoulders will lift up off of the floor, or you'll feel your head lift off of the floor. So this time as we pull those ribs down towards the belly button, I want you to make sure that there's no tension in the shoulders or neck for that matter. Shake them out, wiggle them, whatever you need to do, or just become aware if you are tensing those up. And give your body that permission to utilize that core a little bit more. Do you need an extra pillow over there at the end?
Okay.
Are you? Okay, because there's a blanket right above your head if you need it. Okay, so now once again, all right, just focusing on the upper rectus abdominis muscles, I want you to take a breath in. Okay, exhale, pull those ribs down towards your belly button. Okay, and go ahead and shake those shoulders out, shake your neck out, making sure that everything, that you have stability in your core, because this is where we're gaining that stability, so our arms and our legs and our neck can have mobility. Soften on the breath in. Exhale, pull the ribs down towards the belly button once again, making sure shoulders are soft, neck is soft, everything is soft. Breathe in and soften. Last time, exhale, pulling those ribs down towards the belly button. Okay, and at this moment, we're not doing anything with our lower abs. We're just focusing on those upper abdominals. Breathe in and let it all soften. Okay, take a few relaxing breaths in and out now. And as you breathe in, the benefit of diaphragmatic breathing is that you will be stretching those stomach muscles that we're engaging. Yes, you are using your abdominal muscles, but this is a nice way to stretch your abdominal muscles just the same. Okay, so breathing in, feeling that belly rise and fall. And this is the breath that we want to get into using when we're in standing and sitting as well. Gravity just helps us out when we're laying down quite a bit. All right, so now we're going to go back to engage all three areas of our core muscles, thinking about that zipping up, tucking the tail, and pulling those ribs down. Mind you, all of these are very small movements. You're not going for huge movements, but you want to feel that stability in the core and the laxity in all the other extremities. All right, so once again, I want you to take a nice gentle breath in. Exhale, zip it up, tuck the tail, pull the ribs down. And then breathe in and let it go. Exhale and zip it up, tuck the tail, pull the ribs down. Doing that check to make sure it's that core that's working. Breathe in and let everything soften. Exhale and zip it up, pull the ribs down, tuck the tail. Breathe in, letting everything soften. You guys are all looking really, really great here. Last time, exhale, zip it up, tuck the tail, pull the ribs down. I want you to hold it here for 2 more breaths in. Breathe in and exhale, keeping that area stable. And you should feel your back imprinted on the floor. Breathe in and exhale. And breathe in, letting everything soften. Okay, so as you do this, your back should feel like it is imprinting on the floor. If you feel like your back is arching up, let me know and I'll come by and give you a little bit of hands-on to help make that back imprint. Okay, so now I want you to go ahead and come up into a sitting position, and we're going to activate the core from a sitting position here. And you can sit Indian style. Remember, once again, you can grab your blanket, and if you want to sit on your blanket, or if you're more comfortable sitting up against the wall, if you need to turn your mat so you can sit against the wall, that's perfectly fine as well. Just make sure that you're comfortable. Okay. All right, so all those same principles apply, but we're going to go from laying down to sitting to standing. Okay. obviously most of the time when we're activating our core, we're not laying down unless we're in an exercise class. So it wouldn't make sense for me just to say, let's practice this laying down. Okay, but that is where we start to practice it. So when you're at home, before you get out of bed in the morning, or before you go to sleep at night, think about the breathing, and that's going to be part of your homework. Is when you're laying there, 5 to 10 times, whatever feels right for you, bend your knees, zip it up, tuck that tail, pull that rib down. Okay, and you notice when I get this core on, nothing is happening in my shoulders here, nothing's happening in these legs, it's just all stable in this belly area. Okay, little one's probably like, what are you doing, Mom? All right, so same thing as sitting now. Be relaxed posture here. All right, you don't have to think about, all right, sitting up nice and tall. All right, because actually going like this, if we sit up real tall and we extend our back, we're not utilizing that core. Just as we don't want to sit there and be slumped over. Okay, but we want that nice happy medium. Okay, so once again, as we're sitting up, we're just going to take this piece by piece. I want you to take a nice breath in. And notice if your breathing pattern changed. All of a sudden, exhale. When you sat up, did your breath go like this? All right, so think about that breath expanding out and in, not up and down. Okay, so take a gentle breath in, expanding. Now on the exhale, tuck that pelvis back. Zip it up. Inhale and let it go. Exhale, zip it up. Inhale, let it go. Exhale, tuck it up. Okay. You're rotating a little and tilting that head to the side. Which is, and the reason I may point you out, because this is a learning experience for all of us. Okay, and it lets us know, okay, so I like to do this when I'm like, okay, that's my holding and bracing pattern. Okay, and you like to be like, okay, I can do this. If I hold this all really rigid, I can rock my pelvis back and forth. But it's like, let that go. And we think about, where do we get our neck tension and our upper back tension, Feel free while we're sitting, though. If anybody wants to lean against the wall or sit on this, that's okay. All right, so once again, take that gentle breath in. Exhale and zip it up. Feel the rock back in that pelvis, and now tuck the tail under. And notice how your pelvis, when I say rock back, what I'm thinking of is this motion. Okay, that's the motion I'm thinking of. Got me in trouble. All righty. The little Emily never see this. Alright, so we rock that pelvis forward and back. That's what you want to think of, okay? That's the motion. Now, obviously, this is a pretty, I'm showing you more than what
that
you
was a visual.
need to
you
do.
Showed us a lot.
Laughter's good. It gets the belly engaged. Alright, so once again, take a breath in. Exhale, zip it up, tuck that tail. Breathe in and let it soften. Exhale, zip it up, tuck that tail. Now pull those ribs down. Good. Don't let that restrict your breathing, remember now. You have to keep breathing while you do that. I know, you're over there like, oh my gosh, how can I do all this? But that's why we're having this class. Like, how do we engage all this stuff and still be able to function, right? All right, so let it go. Soften. Okay. Once again, take a breath in. Exhale and zip it up. Tuck the tail, pull those ribs down. Notice my shoulders stay soft. No tension whatsoever in the shoulders or in the neck. This is all stable. Breathe in and let it go. Okay. Last time, breathe in. Exhale and zip it up. Pull the ribs down. Tuck that tail a little bit. Good. No tension. Now keep holding right here and breathe. Let your head be soft. Move that head around. feel that stability in this core region. Okay, that's what we're shooting for. All right. Breathe in and let it soften. Good. If you need to move those legs around, that's fine, whatever. Feet start to go asleep a little bit. All right, and you're going to notice the more you get into this routine, the less stress those legs and these shoulders and the neck are going to be in. All right, because our body recruits. It does really well. It knows how to survive. That is what our body can do. It can survive really, really well. But we want it to know how to live really well. All right, so that's why we're talking about getting this core engaged so that we can have fun with the stuff we do, not just suffer through it. Okay, so last time in sitting, and then we're going to stand up. Okay, take a nice breath in. Exhale and zip it up. Loosen up there. Tuck the tail. Pull the ribs down. Good. Move those arms around a little bit. Good. Wiggle those feet around a little bit. Good. Move the head around a little bit, keeping that core mobile. And then soften. All right, so let's stand up, and let's do it in standing now. We'll do a little sideways shot. We have to push this one back. It's like bad videotaping 101. But you'll all know the point when we're doing it, okay? All right, so what I want you to do, just to engage that core a little bit, I want you to put your feet a little bit more than hip width apart, okay? Put a little bend in those knees, okay? That's another thing we want to think about with our core is when we're standing, not standing with these knees locked back, all right? That's like the number one no-no to a core because that's not using those legs. It's just locking bone on top of bone. So put a little bend. I want you to squat a little bit here. Why? Because when you squat, you're going to automatically rock that pelvis back. Okay? Standing like this, I can easily arch my back, right? And so then I can't get, if I'm standing like that, I can't get that pelvis to rock back so much. So that's why I want you to put a little bend in those knees. Okay? Think about sitting back on the pockets, all right? So take a breath in. Exhale and zip it up. Tuck the tail. Pull the ribs down. Good. All right. And soften. Yeah, you're like, okay, I know what you're going to say. Good, good. All right. And breathe in. Let everything go. Exhale. Good. Good. Zip it up. Tuck that tail. Pull those ribs down. Okay. You should feel that belly flatten. Don't let it be, let the stability go there. Don't let it be, going into any other areas. Now I want you to hold it here for a moment. And I want you to take 3 breaths in. Ready? Breathe in. And exhale. Breathe in. Exhale. Breathe in. Exhale. And let it all soften. Good, 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 good. All right, so you've got the basic concept of it. Let's add a little bit of movement into it now in standing.
It's easier standing up.
It is a little bit easier standing up, but it's also a lot easier to create a bad habit. And so that's why laying down, you can soften the shoulders a lot easier, you can soften the legs, and your breathing is a lot better when you're laying down. Because as you notice, a lot of you, the moment you sat up, the breath started going like this. So that's why, but it also brings out a little bit more of the, where we're holding and bracing when we stand up as well. So that's why we start in laying down. So we give our body that fighting chance to just use this core region. Okay, so once again, put a little squat in there. Okay, and we're going to take a breath in. We're going to exhale and zip it up. Tuck the tail, pull the ribs down. Okay, raise the arms up. Now, you may notice as you go to raise these arms up, they feel like they don't want to raise up as much because we've got this core activated here. That's fine. Don't worry about that, all right? Now let the arms hang down, all right? And keeping that core engaged, I want you to just come up on your toes a little. Up on your toes. Up on the toes. Good. Keeping that core engaged. Now let that core go. All right, and now without your core activated, just so you can feel the difference, don't activate your core here, and I want you just to come up on your toes. Come up on your toes. Whoa, I know, you're a little wobbly, all right? So now, take that breath in, zip it up, tuck that tail, pull those ribs down, now go up on your toes. Feel how much more stable you are just by, you're like, no. She's flying forward. Well, you should feel a little more stable, okay? Or better yet, all right, let go of your core, all right? And just do a little squat. I'm not talking like mega squats here. Just do a little squat with your knees without that core on. Okay, a little squat with the knees. Maybe raise the arms just in front of you since we're sort of close together, okay? A little squat. Now, feel what that's like without the core. Now, breathe in. Exhale, zip it up. Tuck the tail, pull the ribs down. Okay, continue to breathe. Remember to breathe. And now, come down just a little bit. Feel the difference? You are now stable. Okay, and now exhale, let it go. So there you have it. You made it through the basic core activation. Voila! Whoa! All right, now of course we're going to add to this each week. All right, and the reason I kept it to just a half an hour, because yeah, we could go an hour, but I'm telling you guys, you will probably feel your abs later on today. I know it's like, okay, this doesn't feel like much, but later on, you'll feel it. Okay, so I want you to start thinking about this. Now, for those of you that can get it on the internet, I will download this to YouTube. Granted, like this last 5 minutes or so, you're just going to see me from here down. I'm sorry. But that's the important part. That's the moving part, okay? But I will download it to YouTube so that throughout the week you can watch it, all right? But for the rest of you, really, all I want you to do, even if you don't watch this on YouTube, I want you guys to just think about, throughout this next week, just think about zipping it up, tucking that tail, pulling those ribs down, and making sure that you're not recruiting from the shoulders or the neck or the thigh, so that this becomes your everyday habit, as opposed to hold and brace, okay? Whenever you go to lift something up, like even if it's emptying out the dishwasher, I want you to think about zip it up, tuck the tail, pull the ribs down, and then empty out the dishwasher. Okay, emptying out the dryer, which seems to be like a daily thing at my house. Okay.
Just wait.
I know. All right, when you think about that, I want you to think about engaging that core as you do that. Okay, when you're walking the dogs, when you're riding your horses. Okay, think about engaging your core with everything that you do and breathing while you do that. Okay, so any questions? Well, I must have done well. All right, that's it for our class 1.